Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. You guys know me. I'm Nancy Quinn, previously Ganzerkoffer, and I am here with my associate coach, Leslie Myrick, for our Profitable Interior Designer Thursday broadcast. So good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, Nancy. I got to say, I don't love how StreamYard does lighting. I look so tired. I'm like, I don't feel this, guys. I feel better than I look today. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, Zoom tends to do a little better with.
Yeah, Zoom gets it. Zoom softens us a little bit. This is oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Happy Thursday.
StreamYard's not as generous on our palettes here. But anyway, we're here, and today we are talking about outsourcing your social media. And I think this is a hard one for a lot of people, right? Do they hire someone to do this? Do they do it themselves? What are the options? So we source questions from our Interior Design Business Forum Facebook group, which is, by the way, only 90 people away from 10,000.
And free. I thought you were going to say only 9. I'm like, it doesn't cost anything, Nancy. It's not only.
No, that is a free Facebook group.
10,000 members, and it is a free group, and it is an incredible community. I'm in there pretty much every day answering questions and interacting with people. And yeah, it's a really great supportive design community. If you're looking for that, Interior Design Business Forum is the right place.
Yeah, get on in there. So today we have a question from Lucy. Why don't you read the question, which again is in the Interior Design Business Forum. There's a questionnaire pinned to the top that you can submit questions for Leslie and I to answer on our Thursday broadcast. So tell us what Lucy asked.
I will. And in case you didn't clue into what Nancy just said, it's free coaching with us. So send in your questions. We want to help you. So Lucy has asked, she says, Leslie and others have mentioned the benefits of hiring out social media. Can you please discuss that process in detail? I'd love to know how to find someone who knows interior design, what a reasonable charge might be, and how much of your time you spend sending that person pictures, videos, etc.
Oh, I didn't even catch the second half of that question when I reviewed it before we went live. So that's a really good question.
Great question.
Very thorough. Okay. So there's a couple of things. There's a ton of people doing social media for small business owners or even large business owners. And it's hard to find someone that you're steadily happy with, I find, right? Yeah. It's like people think they know what they want. They hire someone, then they change their mind. And instead of riding it through with the person they're with, they try someone new. So I think that's kind of common. But one of the things that I like to do for my following, for our following, is to recommend people that I think are great at what they do. Right? So we have 2 sponsors that are in this social media space. And I think they're both amazing with how they help interior designers at different levels handle their social media, right? So tip number 1 is always interview at least 2 people, right? So we always recommend Fresh Impact, Kim Vanderpool, and Serene Marketing. That's Amelia. I don't know Amelia's last name now that I'm...
Horton? I don't know. I just call her Amelia.
Amelia from Serene Marketing, and then Kim from Fresh Impact. These 2 ladies run marketing firms that help you with your social media, and they do other things as well. Depends on what price you want to pay and how much work you want to get done. So why don't you explain a little bit about how that works, Leslie?
Yeah. And I think part of what you need to consider too is what results are you looking for? And that's something. So I work with Serene. Amelia's been my social media manager for the past couple of years. And then I introduced her to Nancy because I was so happy with her work. And that was a big discussion we had at the beginning was, is your social media, is the goal to convert new clients? Are you trying to reach new people and have them buy from you? Is it brand building and awareness so that you can get partnerships or show houses or something like that? Social media isn't just there because you felt like posting something. There needs to be a strategy behind what you're doing, and that will affect how they do it. So I think it's important to know that. And I already forgot your question. I started rambling. What was the question, Nancy?
How you handle... No, I forgot the question too. That is so funny. How you handle what you ask them to do, right? So, because it matters how much they do for you, whether they're just, and you started out talking about pushing out content, just putting out content all the time. If that's your strategy, just to get out there and be seen, then that's your strategy. That if anyone does look you up, they see you're still posting regularly, you're still in business, you're posting nicely. If you can run your social media well, I bet you that means you run your business well. If they look at your social media and see it's a goddamn mess, they're going to think that you're a mess in the background and your process and procedures do not match, or they'll think it matches what you do on social media. So at the smallest tip I can give is make sure you're posting consistently so people know you're in business. And then add to it, make sure it looks pretty good, because people are going to judge you based on it and whether they want to hire you. That's the bare minimum, right? But how much content do you have to provide to your social media person every week, Leslie? Like, how much time does it take?
The onboarding and setup is going to be a little bit more. Like, what I did was I gathered a Google folder of any images that were safe to use. So like, I want to make sure that, I know what's going out on social and I really like it. So it was past project photos, it was headshots, it was casual phone camera roll stuff that was like little project tours and videos. And I upload that into one central place, and Amelia knows where she can pull it from and create content from it. Amelia, yes, it's Horton. Yes, I thought.
By the way, that's Amelia's last name, Horton. Sorry, Amelia, we didn't remember your last name, but Serene Marketing, we remember the name of the company, which is really important.
So there's more, I would say, at the beginning to get it set up. And at the beginning too, you're going to want to review the content that they are scheduling for you and make sure, do you like the brand voice, the tone, the emojis, the exclamation marks, the formatting? Because it takes a company a little while to get to know you and your voice. So for the first few months, they would send me every month, here's your scheduler, here's the posts, take a look. And I would approve, change. At this point, I know it's there, but I also trust them. And I know I don't really have to look at it anymore. And occasionally Amelia's team will send me something specific they want my eyes on before it goes up. But it's sort of like hiring an employee or a new team member. There's an onboarding process, but once they get up to speed, it does take a lot of the work off of you. So on the regular, what I do is, if I have just done a site visit, if we've had an install day, if we have a finished project, a new photo shoot, I will upload those photos and videos and just let Amelia know that they're there. And also, this is not required, but I just like it when I see something cool on Instagram that could be a good reel or post idea. I'll just send it over and say, hey, I like this. And they'll try to work it in the future. So that's not required. But if I see something that I feel like is a good fit for me, I'm like, oh, I like that idea.
Yeah,
I know that that's appreciated too. So it's really just sending them photos and videos. But honestly, beyond that, it's not a lot of, and that's the whole point of hiring it. It's not a lot of day-to-day work and maintenance.
No, it's not. But I'll still say that you want to be aware that you are looking to provide content to your social media company at times. Like even last night, I was out watching music. I took a picture. I'm going to send it over to her, right? Same with the Get It Done Club, which I think is an amazing service as well. That's Kim Vanderpool of Fresh Impact. You can have full managed services from either one of these companies, but Kim also has that beginner level almost where you're learning about social media yourself. So if you are at the point where you're like, I can't afford to hire someone to do managed services for my social media, it kind of scares me. I don't know how to post. I don't know how to do a reel. I don't know how to do all the different things you see people doing, right? It's like, oh, that's cool. How do I do that? That's where the Get It Done Club comes in.
Yeah. Kim is great. It's like open office hours. You show up on Zoom and she'll help you with whatever you need. It's like getting coached for social media, and you can ask all the questions you want, which I think is so valuable because you guys know things change constantly. And what works doesn't work anymore. Yes. So having guidance is great. If you're not ready for the full managed service, I think that's an awesome stepping stone. It's a very affordable investment. If you can commit an hour a week, you will be solid for your social media for a while.
And like our Profit Insiders, I put them into the Get It Done Club on my dollar because that's how important it is. Once they're in my program, I pay for them to be in that program because it's so important that if you're not at the point to pay for managed services for your social media, what you want to do is learn how to do it yourself. It's either time or money. I say this all the time, almost every day. It's either time or money. So in the beginning of your business, when you have time, you're building, you're marketing, you're learning. It's an invaluable skill to learn a little bit about your own social media, how to post certain things that you want to post, which are the what are the benefits of posting in different ways, having a scheduler so you don't have to every single day be doing it. You can set up a 6 weeks and let it run, right?
Yep.
There's so many benefits to learning. And the most important one I'd say is not just about the functions of the apps themselves and how it works, but it's understanding the how to set up a beautiful social media strategy.
Yeah.
Right? So it ranges in price, guys, because if you have someone just posting for you, that's less expensive than having someone who's actually going to post for you and interact for you for other accounts. And we know that that's how you grow your Instagram. It's not just by putting information out there and people just happen to find it. Sometimes, yes, but most of the time it's interacting. So if you're going to get to the point where you're paying someone to post for you, you still want to do the interacting yourself until you can get to the point where you're paying someone to post and interact.
Yeah, that's a great point. The posting, the putting the content out is really half of it. And it's also talking and engaging and leaving comments. And then someone sees your name and clicks on your link, or they see your comment and they hover over it and it says interior designer. That is how you grow. It's like having the beautiful feed and the fresh content is kind of a no-brainer. Like, this is what business is in 2025, full stop. Like, that's the bare minimum, whether you outsource it or do it yourself. But I think where there's a lot of room is actually engaging and doing outreach and interaction and liking other posts and following people. This is a business. This is no longer the Instagram of 2012 when you're like doing the overhead shot of your latte with like the Nashville filter. Like, this
I can't do that anymore.
Development. Do you still do that, Nancy? We got to talk. Yeah. Maybe later today we'll post latte photos just as like a throwback.
I still like food posts and latte photos. It's something I'm attracted to. So sometimes I'll post it anyway. But the bottom line is, and I want to bring up one other thing that we actually didn't have in our notes. Yeah. One of our profit insiders wants to understand the know, like, and trust factor that all social media people talk about, right? It takes about 18 to 20 times in this day and age for someone to see you, hear what you have to say, look at a beautiful picture of something you've done as an interior designer before they have the guts to hire you, because they want to know that they like you and trust you, right? So the trust factor to me, and it might be different for you, the trust factor for me is I trust that you know what you're doing, because you're putting out tips and content that I can tell you're good at what you do. That's what I consider the trust.
Yes.
Right? Trust that you'll do the job that, like for us, it's trusting that we are business coaches who actually know what we're talking about. So what do? We put out content like this so people can trust us. Now, she said, well, what's the like factor? Like, what is that? Like, how do you get people to like you on social media? Right? And I thought to myself, be yourself.
Yeah, you make someone like you, and you're not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay.
That's what I said to her. Not everyone's going to like you, but how do you get that like factor? Post what you do. Post that you're out watching music. Post that you're going for a walk. Post that you're interested in gardening. Post that you're playing pickleball. Post that you do nothing and walk every day, or you read, or you watch TV, or you relax. Watch the sunsets. Yeah. How do people like you on social media? It's because they relate to you. They see themselves in you in some way. So how do you get liked? By putting your real self out there, not what you think people are going to like, really just putting yourself out there. Because if you're putting out what you think people are going to like, you're going to attract someone who thinks you're someone else.
I love that you say that, because we give this advice in the Profit Insiders Academy, and sometimes we get pushback, and I get it. Like, people are afraid to share that more personal stuff. And we're not talking like, put your kids' birth certificates online. No. But, do you like true crime podcasts? Do you love to garden? Do you have a really cute puppy? That's the kind of thing where I know it sounds weird, because you're like, well, I should be out there being a designer. Yes. And if they're like, oh my gosh, like, she's got kids around the same age as my kids, or, oh, she loves irises and daffodils too. Like, there's weird ways people find you. And the things people have said to me are sort of surprising. Like, oh, I saw X and I really like that. And I was like, that's what brought you. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just surprising. And you've mentioned that too, Nancy. Like, you've shared some of your family story and about your kids and your divorce. And that's a reason a lot of people have really connected with you, of like, hey, I'm there too. I see you have gone through what I have. I know you can be like, you're someone that I can trust and connect with, and you'll get me. And
Yes.
that's huge. This is an industry that is incredibly intimate. Like, we're in our clients' underwear drawers and we're moving things. Like, this is weirdly personal. And if someone doesn't know who you are, and if they don't like you, of course they're never going to hire you. But if they get you and they know that you're going to get them, that's an open door for them to reach out and say, hey, I want to redo my bathroom. It's a mess. Can you help me? They feel safe doing that.
Exactly. Exactly. They already know they like you because you have some common, commonalities that they've seen on your social media. So they already kind of know they like you. Now they trust you, hopefully, because you're also sharing freely of tips that can help them. And then they get to know you by you getting on the phone with them and getting into their home for a paid in-home consult. That's how they get to know you even more. But I can always tell, and I know you can too, when someone has watched our videos, taken advice from us through our public-facing assets like we do here, they're already sold when they get on my calendar. They already know they want a coach. They already know that I'm the right coach for them in their eyes. And now they're just looking to confirm it on the phone call. Same with you guys as interior designers. You want to have everyone know I want to hire her or him because of what they're putting out there. I love, and add your website to that, your Google business profile, your testimonials, everything else. It all matters. But everyone has to start somewhere. So you may not have everything in the beginning, but how much does it cost to hire a social media manager to do this for you? Well, it's anything from $147, I'd say, for the Get It Done Club is pretty much the most economical I've seen for somebody I trust to recommend. All the way up to a couple of $1,000s a month. Or more. A few thousand, even more than a few sometimes. If you're hiring someone to do, let's say, like in my case, 5 platforms, right? They're posting on all my social media platforms, or at least 5 of them. I have probably 10. And they're doing interacting. So that is going to be time that I need to pay for because I don't want to do it myself at this point.
Yes. It's time or money.
If you
don't have the money, then do something like the Get It Done Club and really leverage your time. If your time needs to be spent elsewhere, then it's worth the money. Because I promise you, these social media people know more than you do. And they can do it faster and better, like truly.
Well, I'll give you this example. So as an interior designer, you get emails every day from, Business to Home and other places like that that give you incredibly valuable information about our industry, right? And you're reading it. So you're keeping up with the industry and you're getting emails from industry partners, furnishing companies, manufacturers, and you're keeping up on the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
So how are you also supposed to be keeping up on the latest and greatest of all the social media changes, which are literally daily on every single platform? Yeah. That's what social media managers do in their free time when they're not with clients. They're learning their craft. They're learning and they're keeping up on things, right? Just like when I'm not with clients, I'm enhancing our trainings and I'm creating new trainings. And when I'm learning more so I can teach more, that's what coaches do. So as designers, you want to limit your time spent on social media. Do your posting, do your interacting, don't go down a rabbit hole, and then consider, good luck, set a timer like I used to do, and then possibly start out with something like the Get It Done Club, where you're learning about how to do the social media, how to do it faster, how to use AI to help you with it, and eventually graduate to having either Fresh Impact or Serene do your managed social media care completely. It's amazing. And then I'd say I spend a half an hour the most a week thinking about my social media, where I'm going on my business social media, where I'm going on myself, or I'm sending images to my social media person. And then once a month I meet with them to make sure that we're both happy with the direction things are going in. It's not a big time commitment. It's more of a money commitment, right?
Yes.
Right. But in the beginning, when I did it myself, it was more the time commitment and less the money commitment. So your choice in your journey, right? How long did it take you to actually have enough money to hire someone?
I mean, it was several years and I didn't do what you said and interview multiple people. This agency reached out to me and offered their services. And I was like, okay, cool. They're expensive. They must be good. Spoiler alert, no. And they were it was like the most generic Gen Z, Pinteresty, and I'm not knocking that, but I'm like, a single cactus on a pink background is not my vibe. Like, what are you doing? I was really unhappy with that investment, but I stuck with it thinking it's got to work at some point. I should have trusted my gut. I should have interviewed people, and but it took a good, oh my gosh, probably 5 years in business, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly when I started outsourcing it. Because social media is one of those things that I know enough to be dangerous. I don't love it, but I actually have, one of my past jobs was managing social media for a couple of home brands. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. So I'm happy to pay someone else who does like it to do it. So I held on to it maybe a little longer than I should have, simply because of my knowledge and skill set. But it's one of those things like bookkeeping. I mean, it's a little bit more fun than bookkeeping, but I am happy to have someone who knows the strategy and has a plan behind it to take it over, instead of me going, here's a new project. Happy Thursday. Like, take that. I don't need that on my brain. So I would say, if this is something you love and are passionate about and content creation is your jam, keep doing it. If it's something that is a struggle and you're like, oh, I have to do this, you might want to start thinking of a future plan where you can earn enough or have enough put aside to start getting more help, because social media is not going away, and it is becoming, I think it already is, an essential part of building your brand as a designer.
Yeah. And I want to say, unfortunately, for some reason at the end of that sentence, right? Social media has taken over our worlds, but it is unfortunately the reality. And running a business, you need to know how to do it. You need to know how to do it well. I will admit that for 17 years as an art consultant, I taught people how to do social media. I did it all myself, besides having Sally, who actually worked for me in my home when I was an art consultant for 17 years. She helped me a little bit with that social media, but I didn't hire someone for social media till I was a coach.
And wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I never hired someone before that. So it's much more prevalent now than it was when I first started my business. But about midway, it became very important to do that. And I'll tell one final story, and then we'll hang up and we'll see you guys next week. But when I first taught my first social media Instagram live event on Long Island, I had maybe 10, 15 people, maybe like 12. And I had my son, Caden, there to help me with each individual person. I said, bring your phone, bring your computer. It was an Instagram course or little class. At that point, which I don't know how many years ago it was now, but not one person even understood the hashtag Long Island interior designer, or interior designer Long Island, or interior designer New York, or New York. When I tell you, I stood in front of this small class of 12 Long Island interior designers, and I said, everyone pick up their phone, go to your Instagram, search Long Island interior designer or interior designer Long Island, or both. Not one.
No one in that room came up in that search.
No one was using it on Long Island at all back then, is my point.
Low-hanging fruit, man. Start with that's a whole other topic, but start with your location on your social media.
Thank you. So like sometimes it's the simple things we just don't know, and you got to go and try to learn. So anyway, if you are unsure about your social media, contact one of our sponsors, Serene Marketing or Fresh Impact, and interview both of them and see what they can do for you if you're ready to start unloading a little bit of your social media. Okay. Anything else? Did we miss?
Adapt or die. This is not going away. If you're burying your head in the sand with social and thinking you can get by without it, it's not going to serve you well in a few years. So start thinking about it.
I know. And our Profit Insider Accelerator group starts today.
Now I'm excited.
So we'll be meeting with them later. So for those of you who are looking for group coaching, I have one starting today, and hopefully again in a couple of months. So keep it in mind and keep an eye out if you're struggling with growing your business in any way: marketing, sales, process, systems, sales, like everything, communication. We are here to help you with that. So please reach out to us if you're struggling. All right. All right. So Leslie, we'll see them next week, right?
Next Thursday, every Thursday.
All right. Don't forget to submit your questions in the Interior Design Business Forum free Facebook group at the link pinned to the top. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.